Hey team, I am car camping tonight. Woohoo! I was not planning on it tonight just because I was not prepared. I have not figured out the heating implement. I did actually pick up a couple of candles, so we will set those on fire and see what that does. But otherwise, got some groceries. I have been out. My first challenge was to see how long the heat in the car would be maintained. So I drove up here and then I stayed in the car with all the doors closed for a solid chunk of time. So I was able to be warm for about an hour, and then I wanted to, I did put the blankets over my feet just because I did not have socks on. So I did do that. But now it's been about an hour and a half, I'd say, and I've been out. I took a few photos. I went to the bathroom. Yes, I went to the bathroom in the woods. Woohoo! And now I am losing the light. I did already put the cardboard in the windows just because it was kind of getting in the way. I had to try and get my shoes out, and they're tucked behind everything, and so I had to try and put things to rights, sort of. But now I'm kind of at that moment where it's like, I did go out and then I came back, and the car is warmer than out there, so that's good. There is heat in here. I just don't know how long it is going to last. But it's like I said, it's about 5:30 now, and kind of losing the light a little bit. And I don't have any books on my phone. I don't have any data connection. And I don't have Wi-Fi. So I'm a little dubious about what I'm going to be doing with my time from dark until morning. And I brought library books. But we'll see what we do in the meantime, because these lights aren't really staying on longitudinally when I hit the button. So I do believe that they stay on longer, but I think they do have like a 10-minute limit or something before they turn off. So we will see what happens. It's going to be an interesting night. I'm already a little dubious, a little stressed about it. But I'm under the blankets and I've got my jacket on, so I think it's going to be okay. Hey team, having a quick check-in. Night one, it is actually going well. I know the last video I made, I was unsure of what I was going to do for the rest of the night, and I just was very dubious, and I kind of went in and out of like a dozing stage. I was reading and kind of dozing off, and kind of reading a little bit. But I put these candles out, and so I was reading by candlelight. Just because the lights don't stay on. I had the candles for warmth. The idea was that they were very small fires. So we got the candles going. And I actually, after I stopped dozing, I did actually have quite a good evening. And I would say that I spent it doing what I would probably do at home. I fulfilled my community obligation for the educational initiative I'm doing this week. So I made something for the community for Valentine's Day. Otherwise, I'm reading about depression right now, and we're just relaxing. So it's coming up on a more appropriate time to go to sleep, and I'm still trying to decide how I'm going to go to sleep, how I'm going to do it, if I want to turn the car on a little bit, if I want to kind of doze lightly and have the candles still going, or I'm just worried that is a fire hazard. So I'm trying to decide too if I want a quick run out and pee again, or if I will be okay. I don't want to go back out there, so we might try to hold it, but that didn't work so great last time. So here goes nothing. Also, that back light is not going off, and I do not know what to do about it. I turned the car on and I turned it back off. It doesn't say that any of the doors are ajar, and so I have no clue why that light is still on. I just hope it doesn't destroy my battery. Good morning! car camping has been accomplished. Winter car camping accomplished. I woke up in the middle of the night and it was cold. I turned the car on for a little while to warm it back up. I still had the candles going, but I was up for a little while and then I went back to sleep. And when I woke up this morning, the candles were out and it was very much colder in the car. So I turned the car back on to heat up again, but it's not really sticking. The warmth isn't holding on. So I just had some breakfast, just some crackers. And I knew that the candles weren't going to last per se. I was kind of hoping that they would do one more day. But there's enough wax in them that I can remelt it down and make a new candle. I do have the stuff here. Now I'm going to go out in the cold weather and prove that I'm an adult and can be in cold weather. I'm going to go get the candle stuff and maybe walk around a little bit, take some pictures, and enjoy nature for a little while. Woohoo! Thank you for having this adventure with me. A reenactment of the 2 a.m. conversation. That's cold, that's cold, that's cold. Actually, the candles were going, so the candles were my compatriots in warm. That's cold. Everything is cold. You can't touch anything. The air is cold. If I had to pee, this will be over. Be on my way back to my parents' house. Halfway home by now. It's snowing. And open the door of the bat cave, and it's just snow blowing everywhere, and it's freezing. And you just can't capture. It's cold. It's cold. Back in the nest. All right, so this morning we did get out of the car, got up, had some breakfast, and then went down and had a campfire and warmed up water for coffee. The water did not stay warm very long. Okay, there's a story. I was heating up the water and I was taking it off of the fire, and I was using these mittens as hot pads, except they're meltable, and I did not realize that. And so they fused to the handle of the fan, and then they started melting, and they started melting on my fingers, and so I was like, oh my gosh, I've got to be fast. And so I had to quick get the water off, and then I spilled a lot, and then there was not enough for coffee. So then I had to put more water on, but then I only let it get to a gentle simmer, and then I took it off, and it just did not stay warm. So it was steaming because it was warmer than the air around me, but it was cold coffee. So I did technically heat water, and I technically had coffee. But that's how we're leaving that, because that was the coffee was fine, but it was just a little cold, so that's okay. That happens sometimes. And now I've got to try and figure out if I can get the mittens off of this. I should have just burned them off, but I didn't think of that. But also, it was very cold, as it turned out. It started snowing when we were down there, and now we've got the storm, of course. But we can tell it's cold because my jug of water started freezing. And I think we're only down there for like 2 hours maybe, but this started freezing, and so it was chilly. But I was not wearing the best shoes, and I wanted to do other things, and the snow was starting to pile up onto the stuff, and so I thought I would just put the fire out and come back to the car for my cozy nest. I've got the car turned on right now. This is the second time on. My feet are a little bit chilly still, so I'm just trying to, they're like clammy chilly, and so I just want them to be a little bit warmer before I gauge how we're going to spend the afternoon. I don't know if I'm going to stay through 3:30 today, since that's where I got here. That's when I got here yesterday. So I don't know if I'm going to stay for that, or if I am going to try another night, because I did actually make candles. I know we'll make a candle. I melted down the rest of the candles that I had. So we've got another candle here to burn. So that should keep us warm. Keep me warm. That should keep me warm. Gosh, it smells so good. And I did actually melt, I melted the metal container that I on the fire as well. This is what I used to reheat the wax, and the handle just started going. But I see a little wax in there. But woohoo! So we have a candle, and so I wouldn't mind trying another night. I think that would be nice. But I don't. Also, if my feet get really, if they stay cold long term, I don't know how comfortable I would be with that. So I'm gonna try and stick them right by the heater, and then we'll plan from there. But I made a cute little picture. It's watercolor color pencils, so I thought I would just I'd put it in there, and then we're gonna smear it with water. I don't much care for the colors that are on it, but it's kind of true to life. It's this is the car. If you couldn't tell, I'll move the camera so you can see that. See, I had my legs like this. And then this wasn't here. The water, and I moved the blankets so you can kind of see the pink blanket, the white blanket, the little heart thing over on the side. Now we're gonna add water, and we'll see how it turns out. But I do also only have a little bit of water left, so that's another factor if I want to try staying another night or not. So choices. Warming up the feet. I did also want to say I have been peeing outside for full merits, but I actually have my female urinal. I got it like 2 years ago. I was doing conservation work outside a lot, and so I thought, hey, I could maybe pee in this, and then I'll have it at home too. And so I was just kind of putzing with it to see how it would work out. It's just like a little, essentially it's just like a little pitcher that you pee into. But I've been using that, and it's actually great because I've not had to worry about, finding a tree to squat behind, and squatting and not falling while I'm peeing, and not peeing on my shoe, not peeing on myself. So it actually has been really, really nice to be able to just be pull down pants very slightly, and not all the way down the legs so you don't pee on, who's it, what's it. So just very slightly pull pants down, get that thing in place, pee in it, and then dump the pee wherever I want, by trees. And so you can't see yellow really. So not embarrassed that I peed, I guess, but so it's actually, and it was a really great tool. So I'm very pleased that I have it, because last night it was dark and I had to pee at 8, 9 o'clock, and I was like, all right, this is happening. And so I just jumped out of the car, peed into it, and dumped the pee by a tree, and then jumped back in the car. So winning. But I wanted to tell you about the pee situation, because that is a big part of camping. So, and the urinal is so beautiful. So very cool. And they do come for women as well. The women urinal. It's just a little pee pitcher. But all right. I will say snot has also been a factor. Being out in the cold, my nose has just been running like nothing. And I don't have my hankies today. I left them at my parents' house, and so I don't have toilet paper or any sort of tissue. I didn't bring anything, so I was planning on nature's toilet paper, or like leaves. So I did use a leaf to blow my nose like once, and they're not practical, and they have bugs and things overwintering, and so it's like I don't like using leaves as much, but I used ice chunks and that turned out fine for my nose. And just kind of, if you slop it on your face and then wipe it off, you don't know what's snot and what's snow, so it's like, no, that's snow. If there was any residual. But then I started doing what we learned when I was doing conservation work. You just like put your finger on one nostril and then blow out the other one, and then do the opposite and blow out, so that way you just get the goop out, if you will, the mucus out. And that actually, I'm getting better at that. But of course I was like right down close to the ground, and because I didn't want to get it on myself, and I was getting it all over my hands, and so mucus everywhere. But I also have hand sanitizer, so woohoo. So it's okay, but very cool.